Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of February 2021. You may have noticed I've got a brand new background, so I don't know, I'm just kind of switching things up, doing some new things in the new year. You can let me know your thoughts. I appreciate all of your feedback. But the main thing is that you can see the cards, right? That's always what I want to make sure I focus on when I do your readings. Speaking of cards, I will be using my original tarot deck for your readings this month. I will also clarify with my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. And then Taurus, we will close out your reading with a messages from the Fairies Oracle card. Now, if this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. All right, Taurus, let's get right into your reading. You can see the cards are already starting to talk. All right, Taurus, what do we need to know for the sign of Taurus as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of February 2021? All right, Taurus. So, good news is on the way, and also some changes, some big changes are happening in your life. However, I want to say the energy and the word that's coming through loud and clear is overcome. Now, the Page of Wands talks about some news and information you got as it relates to your work, as it relates to what you do. The Page of Wands means that there was some unexpected news that came through or will come through roughly in the first week of February. Now, this isn't necessarily anything bad, but because it's in the reverse, it tells me that this was something unexpected. This was something that nobody saw coming. Okay, and because of it, it actually kind of opened up dialogue in an interesting way for you. Where it seems like it just made communication easier. Now, as this relates to your money, it means that you probably were able to speak to people that you don't normally talk to, or maybe people reached out to you that you would not normally have connected with, but you got some interesting information here. Again, I'm picking up that this is something unexpected, and it really kind of opened up the dialogue for a lot of people to kind of connect, okay? And I think that's a very good thing. It's not something huge, it's not something major, but it is something that has allowed you to kind of really network and kind of build relationships with people that you would not have done so otherwise. So that's a really good thing. Now, the other thing where I'm picking up on the overcome is the Devil in the reverse. This is the breaking free of something that was holding you back, okay? The Devil talks about bondage, and when he shows up in the reverse, it means there's a release, there's a breaking free, there's a stepping away from something that was holding you back in a very destructive way. Now, this could be anything from an addiction. It could be poor spending habits. Maybe you learned how to manage your money better. Maybe you have gotten better with finances. It could even be a relationship. Maybe you broke off a relationship that was very toxic and very draining financially. Whatever the case may be, it's definitely good. You know, this is part of growth. This is part of moving forward and making progress, especially as it relates to your money, because now you don't have something dragging you down, something holding you back. Now, we've got some really good news here, but things are going to happen probably a little delayed, a little bit. It's going to feel like things are in slow motion. You get some really good money news here. We've got the Page of Pentacles. So the first week of February, you're going to hear something very positive as it relates to your money. The thing is we have the Eight of Wands here, and this is the card about timing. This means that things are very, very slow. Things are delayed. Things are not happening on schedule. And sometimes that could be quite annoying, but sometimes it can really work out in your favor. And that's what I'm seeing here. We also have the Death card, which talks about slow life transforming change, right? The other thing, the Death card also means that sometimes change happens unexpectedly. So either the change is going to happen very slowly, or it's going to happen in a way that you did not expect, or in a way that you did not anticipate. But remember, you have to see that you are getting some good news here. You're getting some positive money information. The page always delivers good news, especially when he's in the upright position. The Page of Pentacles means that good news about your money and your finances is definitely on the way. All right, Taurus, let's continue on, because you have, I want to say, a growth month is what I'm feeling, is what I'm picking up here. All right, so let's see what else shows up for the sign of Taurus. As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of February 2021. All right. So as we move through the month of February, you will see things are really going to turn around. But again, I'm not getting that things are going to happen very suddenly. We have the Four of Swords here. Now, usually the Four of Swords in the upright means to kind of withdraw, step back, retreat, right? But when he's in the reverse, this means that you're going to be proactive. And I'm not surprised, because once you get this good news here, this good money news, that's going to motivate you to take some action, and you're going to be on it. You know, no one has to tell you twice. You're like, okay, I heard the message. I'm making moves, okay? And this is really, really good, because it means you're not wasting time, you're not wasting opportunities, it's like you're in the energy to make something happen. Now we have the Justice and the High Priestess. Both of them are in the reverse. Justice in the reverse means that decisions are being made without your input, without your feedback. But these decisions affect you wholeheartedly, but you have no say in the matter. You have no contribution to what the final decision will be. Now, I understand this is a very frustrating situation to be in, but you're going to see that when all the dust settles and when things kind of shift and shake around, it's going to work out quite well. And I can see that by these two cards here. Things are really going to turn for you in a very positive way. But you're just going to have to kind of go through feeling this, I don't even know if disappointment would be the word, but I guess that would be the best way for me to describe it. You're just going to feel a little disconnected. I'll say it that way, okay? Especially with the High Priestess here. The High Priestess means you're not really tapping into that inner guidance. You know, maybe you're not really trusting yourself, you know, and you're feeling really down. You're feeling really disconnected. You're feeling really discouraged even. Okay, you know, because sometimes you do things and things don't work out the way you thought they would. You know, you end something negative here and you think everything's going to work out, and for some reason it doesn't. Okay, and everybody goes through that. So I understand your frustration, but I want you to know that this is not going to last forever. Why? Because we have the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Swords. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is probably one of the most positive cards in the deck, and it's probably one of my favorite cards, because the Wheel of Fortune talks about things really turning around in a very unexpectedly good way. It also talks about serendipity, another one of my favorite words. It means you're in the right place at the right time. Things happen for you and you benefit from it in such a powerful way. Now, this is beautiful for your finances. Again, remember, we're getting some good money news here. So just trust that, yeah, you may feel a little down here. Things may not work out that great, but things are gonna turn. Things are gonna turn in your favor. And I want you to get ready, okay? You know, start preparing, because good is on the way. finally, we have the King of Swords here. The King of Swords is someone who does not get caught up in the emotions and really lets go and cuts things off as necessary. He does it in a very diplomatic way, right? And I have a feeling that's going to be you. It's like this is not an emotional decision here. This is a decision of what has to be done. And you make the moves to do what needs to be done. The other thing about this too is that the King of Swords, sometimes his energy is very much one of elimination. It's like eliminate distractions, eliminate waste, eliminate anything that takes you away from what your ultimate goal is, especially when it relates to money. You know, it's also having that razor sharp focus of really being committed to the process of, you know, achieving your goals and creating the results that you want to see. All right, let's continue on, Taurus, and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of February 2021. Now, you've got an interesting array of cards here, Taurus. All right, let me move everybody down. Okay, so you've got some tough decisions here, right? Two of Swords in reverse talks about some real heavy decisions. And sometimes when this guy shows up in the reverse, it means that we're not really... It's like we know what we have to do, but we don't do it. Why? It may feel uncomfortable. It may be scary. Maybe we're just procrastinating, whatever the case may be. This is something we have to pay attention to, because sometimes when it comes to our money, we cannot afford to not make the decisions that we need to make. Now, next we have the Tower card. This is telling me to tell you, I'm communicating, do what you need to do, because if you don't, sometimes things will definitely fall apart. Things will break down, okay? Don't ignore any type of financial decision that shows up for you, especially in the month of February. If it's time to buy insurance, make the payment. If it's time to pay your taxes, pay your taxes. If it's time to invest in, like, do what you need to do in order to prevent any type of catastrophe, okay? This is more of a warning. This is not a prediction. This is me giving you a heads up about what you need to pay attention to in the month of February, especially as it relates to your finances, okay? Now, I say all of that because these next two cards here tells us that we don't know what we don't know. Now, the Moon card talks about information being hidden, whether that's deliberately, intentionally, or sometimes just happenstance. You know, sometimes things just are not made known to us just because that's the way it's set up. But the Judgment card talks about a rebirth, right? It's like you get proactive, you prepare, you do what you need to do. And sometimes we do need to kind of experience some things that are challenging in order for us to make better decisions going forward and to really redefine who we are and really reevaluate what it is that we are doing with our time, with our money, and with our attention. And that's what I'm getting with this Judgment card. Now, again, we don't know excuse me, we don't know what we don't know. So that's why we are proactive. That is why we put things in place to make sure that we're taken care of and to make sure that our families are taken care of, okay? Because things can happen out of the blue. I'm not saying that, you know, anything horrible is going to happen, but at the same time, I am telling you that it's better to have things in place in case something does happen, okay? Excuse me. Now, as we move through the second half of February, I want you to say that all of your prep work pays off. We got the Ten of Cups here. This is one of the most positive cards in the deck. The Ten of Cups is the card of ultimate happiness, joy, contentment, satisfaction. Okay, so it's like you heed the warning and it pays off. All right. So this tells me that there's nothing happening that you're not going to be able to overcome. Excuse me. All right, next we have the Chariot, and then we have a repeater. We have the Four of Swords. Remember, we saw him here. Now, the Chariot talks about sometimes either things happening very slowly or not on time, things again being delayed or behind schedule. The other thing about the Chariot is that sometimes we have too many things going on at once. And I'm kind of feeling like that's more of the case for you, Taurus, okay? It's like you kind of got so many things happening that it's hard for you to really be committed to any of them, because you've got this here, you've got this here, you've got that there, and you really need to kind of pay attention, because you only have so much time and only so much energy, okay? And if you really want to be profitable and you really want to grow what you have and be abundant, you're going to have to narrow it down just a little bit, okay? You're going to have to really wholly commit probably to one or two things and really make those things profitable before you start adding more on your plate. Finally, we have the Four of Swords. After, you kind of go through this timing here, you will take a step back and you will kind of take a break. You will kind of take a breather. You'll start to kind of see, okay, yes, maybe I do have a whole lot going on. Let me reevaluate my situation and make a clear decision about what I'm going to do next, right? Because again, we only have so much time. We only have so much energy, and in some cases we only have so much money that we can delegate for certain things. All right. So I'm seeing this as more of a self-awareness. It's like you step back, you look, you evaluate, and then you make better decisions going forward. All right, Taurus, let's continue on and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of February 2021. Interesting. Okay. Very clearly, I know this is still related to this. Okay. We will talk about that. But let's go ahead and start with this Ten of Pentacles here. Ten of Pentacles in the reverse tells me that you're going to be doing a lot of independent work, okay? You're not going to be, partnering with somebody. You're probably not going to be doing group projects. You're going to be working solo here, and I think that's probably the best for you at this time. Like I said, it really allows you to reevaluate what exactly it is you want to do and how you want to delegate your resources. Next, we have the Seven of Swords here. Now, the Seven of Swords, this is, I don't know if this is a person or if this is more of a situation. And because it fell on the Tower and this Judgment card here, I'm getting the sense that there's something that we're not paying attention to, and we have to make sure that we're not getting taken advantage of, right? Sometimes we deal with people who don't necessarily have the best intentions. So again, I'm going to give you a heads up. By the time we hit the end of February, pay attention to the things that show up for you and really examine where they're coming from. Because you cannot trust everything that shows up automatically as being good for you. Now, I'm not saying that what shows up or who shows up is necessarily bad, but it may not necessarily be good for you. So pay attention and use wisdom, use discernment there. Next, we have the King of Cups. Now, I love this guy because he is someone who is very emotionally grounded, emotionally stable. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at, Taurus. It's like you've had some things going on and you're getting your emotions back together, and that's really going to help you with your work, with your money, with your finances, because you're going to be able to make some really clear-headed decisions, okay? And it's not going to be just about well, how do I feel and why is this and my emotions are a mess. It's not even about that. It's just about you having a lot of clarity and really seeing situations for what they are and not getting caught up in the emotional side of things. Next, we have the Nine of Swords here. Now, I don't know what's going on because this is the card of worry, maybe a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of, could be a little bit of stress. But you have to understand, Taurus, that you can't worry about the things that don't necessarily work out. I get the sense that this is probably going to be a time when you're feeling a little discouraged because something didn't happen the way you thought it would. And I see that because it fell on this moon card. And even though you fell on the Ten of Cups here, which is a very positive, wonderful, beautiful card, sometimes we still can't really embrace it as such, right? Sometimes we still have our own stuff that we're working through, and so we can't fully embrace what is before us. And I'm going to say you're going to have to give it a try. Just know that you may feel a little out of sorts at the end of February, okay? But you're going to get through it. I do promise you that. Next, we have the Six of Cups. Somebody or something, someone shows up from your past. I get the feeling like this is not something that really goes anywhere. You know, someone shows up from your past and says, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. But you don't really take it seriously, Taurus. You're like, oh, it was nice to hear from so-and-so. And then that's the end of it. You know, don't give it any more significance than what it truly is. It's just somebody who wants your attention. But whether or not that person deserves your time and attention, you're going to have to judge that for yourself. Finally, we have the Devil card here. Now, remember, we talked about the Devil here. I have a feeling like some of this stuff kind of resurfaces at the end of the month. Now, it doesn't mean that it's totally taken you down, but it makes it very, very clear that healing happens in stages, and not everything is just a clean swoop, and not everything comes in just, you know, a one and done type of way. And this is not anything to worry about, right? This is something that I think you're already aware of, and something that I think you are currently working on. You know, again, this could be something that's, you know, bad habits, limiting beliefs. It could be unhealthy attachments. Now, this, again, it could be something in your personal life too, but there is a financial impact. There is a money connection, and you have to be wholly aware of that. So if you are going to consciously backslide with something, just know that it's going to cost you, and it's going to cost you financially. So be very, very careful. Again, this is not a prediction. This is more of kind of giving us an awareness so we can prepare ourselves and kind of, you know, steer left when we see problems coming to the right. Okay? So overall, Taurus, your month is definitely going to be significant in the way that the changes happen and how you maneuver yourself through those changes. You know, there's a lot of, like I said, money energy that's kind of filtering through the month for you. And you just have to make some really solid decisions about how you're going to handle what shows up, and how you're going to kind of, you know, protect yourself, and how you're going to kind of navigate through it. But I think you will. You clearly will. Not every day of the month is going to be easy, but every day of the month is going to be rewarding for you in some way. So I hope you're ready, Taurus. All right, let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and pull a messages from the fairies oracle card. You got two. I really like this one. Let's start here. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. This card cannot be more timely. You've finished one part of your life, and now a new, even better part is beginning. I do definitely feel that energy in your reading today. Next, we have patience, please. What you're asking for is coming about. It's coming. Have patience, as there are unseen factors that need to occur first. I also got this card when I was doing an oracle pull on Instagram. For those of you who are not following me on Instagram, I invite you to do so. I am intuitive.gems over there. But this card talking about patience also showed up when I was doing like a general reading over there too. So I think this is a good reminder for all of us to be patient. All right, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, drop them down below. I want to thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. we'll do it all again next month.